Continuing Spider Month with Spider Man 2. Now, to many people, this is the best movie in the Spider Man series, better than all of the Holland trilogy, the two Garfield movies. This is the best live action Spider Man movie in my eyes. It's the editing, like the camera shots and the lighting, looks so much crisp and better. Even the intro with the artwork was pretty badass. um I do enjoy this a lot better because it evolved, and now that we can skip the origin story, now that they got that part right, now we can tell a story in the world of Spider-Man. And for me, yeah, this is the best live action Spider-Man movie. This is not my favorite overall movie, but it is definitely my favorite live action Spider-Man movie. This just has it all. It involves the characters much more. We kind of showcase the aftermath of Uncle Ben not being around. We show a more depressed Spider-Man because, now he's trying to balance being Spider-Man and being Peter Parker. It is hard. We kick off the movie literally where he's in a pizza spot trying to go deliver these pizzas, but he's constantly late. So because of it, they take him off his paycheck, and then he eventually gets fired because he's too busy saving kids, making sure the town is okay. There's actually a funny cameo of Ashley Larry. He's like, man, he stole that guy's pizzas. Fun fact, so that pizza place, which I forgot what it was called, is a real place, and I was there back in 2019. It was pretty cool, and ever since then, like, if you actually go to that spot, they have a sign saying we were on Spider-Man. It is a pretty cool place. Go check it out. Now, onto the movie. What I like about this movie is that it definitely picks up right where the last one is. And I didn't talk about it in my review for the first Spider-Man movie because I knew that this would come back. But, when Mary Jane pours her heart out and says that she's in love with Peter Parker, they kiss. He says that I could be your friend, but I can't be your partner. It's because he's Spider-Man. He doesn't want her to get hurt. So it makes sense why he would do that. But now, we kind of test the waters, and I like how everything is so connected to each other and it works for this movie. For example, J. Jonah Jameson comes back, and by far his best performance is in this movie. This is my favorite J. Jonah Jameson. We have the iconic laugh, the Doctor Strange reference, stealing the idea of Doc Ock. And of course, J. Jonah Jameson has a son in this movie, his son, the astronaut, who is dating Mary Jane and is planning to marry her eventually, now that Peter has moved on, but not really. And then the one who gets the biggest turnaround is Harry Osborn, because he believes that Spider-Man is the one who killed his father, Norman, in the previous movie. Of course, we all know what happened. Green Goblin turns the switch and accidentally stabs himself with his own blades from his board. Don't tell Harry. So he kept his promise. Now, the main villain of the story is Dr. Octopus, who is, Otto Octavius, played by Alfred Molina. I thoroughly enjoyed his performance. He has this obsession of trying to get the power of the sun in the palm of his hand. He was trying to do this experiment. The octopus arms are just kind of like just to help him kind of like set everything into play. He has this thing that he controls in the back of his head, which pops during this experiment, and then eventually he goes crazy. Now, there's this amazing scene that looks like a horror film, which is when Otto Octavius is gonna get his arms removed from his body, only for the arms to take over his brain, and then the arms just take off every doctor and nurse in the hospital, and it just looks gruesome. It looked like a horror movie. It was just insane to watch, and it was awesome. Now, what does Peter Parker really do in this movie besides trying to find balance in his life as both Spider-Man and Peter Parker? Well, like I mentioned, he's late to a lot of things. He's late to school. He's late to Mary Jane's play. He just can't find. He just can't get a break, man. He's just all these criminals, all these people in the way, and then for some reason, his powers are just lost, and I don't know why that happened. That's one of the biggest, like, why did that happen? Well, they kind of explain it in No Way Home, existential crisis stuff. He doesn't have his powers for a good chunk of this movie, so because of it, he gets to be Peter Parker yet again. He even gets his glasses back. There's a raindrops keep falling in my head. Montage of him living life, working on his bike, paying his rent on time. Well, not really. That part never happens. Those characters, they were brilliantly put together. The rent guy with his daughter, those were pretty funny characters, even though they were never like comic based. Like they just wrote him in just cause. The freeze frame, man, the freeze frame where he's just walking and then the freeze frame that he just walks away. Dr. Connors is in this movie and he is missing an arm. I can tell that they was gonna build up to a lizard movie, or maybe Spider-Man 4 he was gonna be the lizard, or Spider-Man 5. They were gonna go all out with this franchise. Obviously with Spider-Man 3, we all know the rest. The story of Doc Ock wanting to still build this sun with like magnetic fields to have like that power of the sun thing, his machine project, it kind of makes sense why he wants to finish it. Mainly it's just hands talking to him, but there's a big plot hole that's just like it throws people off because you know every massive fan, if you watch Double Toasted, you guys know Martin has criticized this where he wants to steal a bunch of money to get the stuff to build the his project, but he's like, why doesn't he just buy the stuff? That was very funny. If you go watch Martin's review from Double Toasted, if you can find it somewhere, it's hilarious. It's one of the funniest things ever. But anyways, this does lead to a bank scene where it's Doc Ock versus Spider-Man. I'm pretty sure it's just mainly because they wanted to get more action scenes in there. There's a scene in the movie where people are divided whether or not it needed to happen, but it's the scene where Peter Parker saves a little girl. People are conflicted whether or not this scene needed to happen, where Peter Parker saves a girl from a burning building, but I think it was necessary because it shows the urge that Peter wants to be Spider-Man again. He wants to be that hero that the town needs. He feels important. And then later finding out that other people were dead, but that little girl made it, was heartbreaking. But it showed that Peter really has that urge again. And in that conversation with Aunt May that, reveals that he takes the blame for the death of Uncle Ben, and then Aunt May forgiving him, saying that there's always a hero for someone, and then he tries to get his powers, and then that leads to the whole "my back" meme. No, there is one final piece that Octavius needs to finish his project, but only Harry has that thing that he needs to finish the project. But he says, "I'll give it to you if you can kill Spider-Man, or if you bring him to me alive." Turns out that the only one that knows how to get to him is Peter Parker because he is his photographer. So sure enough, Doc Ock steals MJ. Somehow Peter gets his powers back. And one part that I left out, the Spider-Man No More shot gets shown where he throws his Spider-Man suit away, and then eventually Garbage Man finds it and gives it to J. Jonah Jameson. as of recording, we haven't gotten the Spider-Man 2.1 edition, which is going to be coming out in theaters in September. I am aware about they're gonna include the deleted scenes, including one where J. Jonah Jameson is dressed as Spider-Man playing around in his office. So I've seen that countless times. It is one of the best scenes that I wish made it, but we're finally gonna get it on the big screen, and you know I'm gonna go watch it. And I mentioned that I have never seen the first Spider-Man movie in theaters. Now I get the chance to do it. So yes, let's break that record. We have J. Jonah Jameson with the Spider-Man suit, which will be revealed in Spider-Man 2.1, like I said. But that scene where J. Jonah Jameson really sees his mistakes of, scaring off Spider-Man. He says, man, he really was a hero, and I was wrong for scaring him off. Then Peter steals the Spider-Man suit, and then he's like, Spider-Man is a thief. He's a criminal. He's a menace to the entire city. I want Spider-Man. Sure enough, he's back. They have a fight, Doc Ock and Spider-Man, which leads to the greatest live-action scene in Spider-Man history. You know which one I'm talking about. The train scene. Him saving all those people from a train that's out of control. He does his best to save it, throwing all those webs. It took all his power to stop the train. Once Peter saves him, Peter is passed out, and then the city of New York finally embraced Spider-Man as a hero and not a menace. The entire world now really sees Spider-Man as a hero. Even though his face is revealed, two boys give him his mask back, saying that they won't reveal to anybody who he is. Doc Ock takes him to Harry Osborn. Sony spoiled it in the trailers, if you know what I'm talking about, which, man, Sony, stop doing trailers. Just stop. Just announce the movie and let's get it over with, But anyways, this does lead to Harry Osborn being conflicted whether or not he hates Peter Parker or Spider-Man. Did he or did he not kill his father? There's a lot that needs to be resolved, but the more important part is saving the world from Doc Ock's project. And sure enough, Spider-Man finds him with MJ there, revealing that Spider-Man is Peter Parker to MJ, which explains why they can't be together, and explains, MJ is like, oh, so he does love me, it's just that he can't because he's Spider-Man, all this stuff. Eventually, Doc Ock gets his memories back. He controls the arms now. And the only way to stop the machine is to drown it. However, in the process, someone has to die. So sure enough, Doc Ock does it. He has that line of, I won't die a monster. He saves the world. He dies a hero. But people will only remember him as the villain, which is very heartbreaking. Anyways, MJ goes back to the astronaut. Harry is at his house, conflicted whether or not he should avenge Norman's death. Avenge me! And then he finds a bunch of stuff from Green Goblin's lair. So that sets up stuff for Spider-Man 3. We'll talk about that when we get to it. And then, of course, the wedding. MJ walks away from the wedding. She realizes he loves Peter Parker, doesn't care if he's Spider-Man. And this is the first time that this iteration of Peter Parker ends in a happy note. I'm very excited, and I'm very happy that I got to talk about this movie. It is hands down the best live-action Spider-Man movie. A for me. There's some nitpicky stuff that I've mentioned with Otto Octavius going to the bank and stuff like that. It is a little bit ridiculous, but it works for this movie. I love it. You should go out of your way and watch it if you haven't already. It is the best live-action Spider-Man movie. Anyways, we're going to stick to the positives as we talk about Spider-Man PS5, the first video game that's going to be talked about in this series. Arguably the greatest video game in Spider-Man history. I cannot wait to talk about it, and I hope you all stay tuned. Take care, everybody.